Hi, hello everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I know I say that every time, but I really am. Today we are going to be chatting with Tanya. Let me see. Hey Megs, how's it going? What time is it for you? I'm trying to do the math. I'm terrible at math. Um, Let me see if I can invite. Hold on. I think I invited Tanya. We'll see how this goes.
Hi.
Hey, there you are. Okay, using the camera.
Let me turn my volume up.
Oh, me too.
There we go.
Hi.
Hello, gorgeous. Look at you.
Hey, it's all about the lighting and the Instagram filters. Also, makeup helps too.
Oh, you're good to go. Aw.
Yay.
Hello.
I'm good. I am good. How are you?
Doing great. you know?
Yep. Okay, cool. And it's 8 o'clock for you. Oh no, I pushed the comments. Ugh, I hate it when that happens. On the actual recording, though, it doesn't block out your face.
Mhm.
So don't worry about that. It's just.
I got to go in to see, so I can't really see it anyway, so we're fine.
Awesome.
If you see quit, you know why.
Too funny. Hello, everyone. Hey, Megs. It's 10 a.m. Oh, okay, I don't know why I thought. Oh, you just came off of night duty. Okay. Hello. I don't know who else that Big Ed Slayer. Okay, hey.
My gamer husband's name. Yeah.
Awesome. Hello, gamer husband. So glad that you're here.
Nothing but supportive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so sweet. I mean,
Aww.
my boyfriend, he's gonna forget that this is going on. He's gonna like walk in the room, even though I said, "Don't come in."
We've had our moments. you know?
So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Okay. Well, it's 8 o'clock for you. Thank you. I don't know if that's late for you, if you're like a night owl or
No, I'm one of those people that I go to bed at 9:30 and then I stay up till 1 o'clock reading. So
right, you're like, I'm in bed, but I'm not asleep.
like, oh no, I'm so tired. I gotta go. There was a new release,
Not all the time. Right now I'm reading. I usually don't read contemporary romance. I think I've only literally read like one other contemporary romance. It's pretty. But I started reading Nalini Singh's her Rockstar series. I never even read Rockstar before, but anyways, I was reading it. Yeah.
I love her. I have been a fan of hers for years, and I'm lucky enough that I've gotten on her pre-approved list. So I am just, you say her name, and I'm like, yes, yes.
Oh yeah.
No, she's so good. I don't know if you've read her Archangel series that she has, the Guild Hunters.
Only about 100 times.
Oh, God. So good.
So good. I mean, I could talk all. She's like, Nalini Singh is one of the authors I absolutely look up to. She's like, I love the way she writes. I love all of her characters, her stories. Just,
Mm-hmm.
in love with.
They are. They're. A question I'll have for you too, but she's one of those authors where I'm like, she must have the wall with nothing but Post-its and lines going from character to story character, because this far in her series, how else would you keep up with it all? I mean, amazing. Amazing.
I do not know. Like, I think about that with her and a couple other series. So her series and then J.R. Ward series.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm like, how do they keep up with the world building? How does it not get lost in their head? And it's like, I fully believe they're like, it's like somewhere in their DNA. Like, it's just, I mean, of course, like, I know Nalini's mentioned, like, her sister
Mm-hmm.
keeps like track of all the continuity and things. But I mean, still.
I feel like you would have to have an entire database when you've had such a long running series, you know, you're good. Girl, you better get ready because you're Orion's order. Let me tell you.
Okay, it's crazy. So no, I don't have like some crazy like on the wall all these like sticky notes and like lines, and it's like I'm working on like, I think there's like that meme. I can't remember what TV show it's from, and the guy's like this, and he is like all these like he's like, this is what happens, or like that one meme with like Sheldon when he's like on the floor from like the Big Bang Theory. He's on the floor and it's like books everywhere. It feels like that in my head sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have sticky notes on the wall. In fact, I don't even have a single sticky note on the wall. That would drive me nuts. It really would. But I have a Google Doc. I have several now. But the very first one, when I woke up that one morning and just started writing about this world,
Mm-hmm.
it's that document that's just grown and grown. And
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I just have, it's like, so I don't, it's like a whole book in itself, and I have it broken out into like world building, like different species that exist, and you guys don't even know, like literally not even half, not even a quarter of like all the ones I've written down. It's crazy. Anyway, so it's like has all the different species. It has like what abilities each one like commonly has, rare abilities, things like I don't even know yet. And then also it has just certain things about like do I want to give a spoiler? I don't know, for book 3. Okay, I'm a huge spoiler, but I'll say like no, actually I won't. I'll say something else, so it'll give too much away, so I'll say something else. In book 1 we learn about how Callie, and she talks about how like she didn't have to be like on hormonal birth control because of like how the biological species feminine cycles work, how their ovulation and things like that work, and so they don't ovulate for every couple years. Anyways, in this Google Doc I have like random things like that, like how long is the pregnancy and how long this and that happens, and just it's a crazy document, and I go back to it often. And then there's a side document that I've created which has all the characters in the Orion's Order series and their bios, and like their special abilities are, what kind of favorite drink they have, like all of this. And okay, so here's a big spoiler. I'm working on like publishing this as like a insider's guide.
I was literally going to say, so will there be a guide?
Yep. It's in the works, and I guess cat's out of the bag. It's pretty much almost done, so I'm hoping by the end of the year I can post it out as like a little, I don't know, Christmas holiday gift for everyone.
I think they're amazing, and even as fans, I know I do, and you'd mentioned J.R. Ward earlier, you know, it's like she has a guide, and there's times, because once you're moving forward in your series, you get invested in, you know, a book, and you'll forget in book 1, oh yeah, that was mentioned, and I was like, wait, who is this again? And let me, you know, or, you know, different words for different things, and you're just like, wait a second, I'm not quite, you know, especially my brain, you know, I don't always retain it, so it's like, wait,
okay.
But no, I love it. I think it's brilliant when authors do that, and I'm glad you're doing it. See?
Thank you. Thank you. I know recently I read J.R. Ward's, oh God, I have it on my shelf right here, Lover Unveiled, her new book, Lover Unveiled. And I was like, who's Nate? Who's Nate again? Like, what's happening here? Like, I literally forgot, and how did I forget? And so like I went back and afterwards, and I reread the not the Sinner, the who's the one with murder? Why can I not remember his book title?
Wait, hold on. Look, I have all of them. They're all
okay. Great.
So, which one was murder?
He was the one right before. It's like It's something about honor. No, not honor. It's
Right, but was no, I don't look. I'm
it's
like,
a
where you? That's anyway.
yeah. She's not gonna watch this anyways, but
You might or no.
anyways, Murder's book is when Nate shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Murder and Sarah, the savior. Thank
Yeah,
you.
see, we were right.
Thank you, Megs. Right, close. I said something about honor, way off. I don't know why we were talking about murder. Oh, because I can't remember all the things that happen, and so yeah, it's nice to have these guides to be able to go back.
keep you going in tuned with it. That's the big thing, you know.
Right.
And we briefly, I shared some questions and whatnot with you, and it's like you're an author that you're putting out hefty work, girl. I mean, you're putting out a lot of pages, and I wrote it down, and I'm going to say it because Calypso's Heart, 665 pages, and Riker's Key, 741. These are tombs, you know, and that's amazing. And I'm going to say this and for whatever, but there's a lot of people that when they're buying books, they're saving their pennies to buy their favorite books. And you know, they're very frugal about how they spend. And to be able to find an author that gives you the bang for your buck, and I'll use that loosely, but you know, that's people look for that. People look for that in writers, and girl, you're doing it. I love that. I love that because I know when you have a book that comes out, I'm like, give me a week on the beach. We're going to enjoy this. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. It's okay. So funny story about the book lengths. When I first wrote Calypso's Heart, I wrote it in Google. I write all my books in Google Docs because I don't even have Word on my computer, guys. Like, anyway, so I know.
You don't have an HP.
it was okay. Anyway, so I wrote it in Google Docs. That's what I was used to writing in, just regular life things. So when I was done, it was at 380 Google Doc pages, and I was like, "That's great," because that's like right in the, you know, most romance books and like the ones that I read are like around 400 pages, you know, 300 pages. And so I was like, I'm right on the freaking mark here. Like, check, great.
And it's not even a big font, you know. It's like,
yeah, no, it's regular 12 point, whatever. I don't write in Times New Roman. I don't know, whatever it is, just regular.
What will the size of it be if you do the larger print version one day? I mean, it's
I've thought about doing large print for like libraries and stuff. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if it's possible. Like, could they print a book literally? Like, I don't know. Okay, so when I was writing and it came out to 380 pages, I thought, great, this is freaking perfect. Then fast forward as my little baby like author brain, I still am, but as I like learned and a lot about the publishing world, lo and behold, I find out that Google why didn't I think of this? But Google Doc pages does not mean how many book pages a book is. So anyway, it just goes to show like where I was at in my life. So, yeah, it ended up being 600 and I think it was 665. And then I actually just reformatted the books like within the past couple weeks. And so now it's down to like 640 just because I change the margin and just, I was trying to condense it because it makes it cheaper to print. And so that way it's cheaper for people to buy. And so anyways, yeah. And then I already had like book 2 written. Well, I won't even go there. So I will say this. I deliberated, and I actually have a video on this. I haven't posted, I don't think. But I think this is probably a sign that I should. But I deliberated for honestly maybe even a couple months, maybe like 2 months, several weeks of, do I split the book in half? Do I split the book in half? Do I make it the 300-ish pages, both books? And yeah, there was a lot of back and forth in my head. And obviously you guys know what I went with. And it was ultimately every time I thought about splitting it up, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right in my heart. It was like, but wait, no, it's supposed to be told all at once. Like, this is their story. This is their book. I can't break it up.
I feel like you have a flow and you're wanting to keep your characters within one book, you know, and then where do you cut? Where do you edit? That's going to make sense, not only creatively, but, you know, to the reader. Because, you know, there's times where you read books and you feel like either A, the author kind of phoned it in so they could split it up and added erroneous stuff to it, or B, you feel like, you know, it didn't feel complete. Readers can tell. And I always think authors need to go with their gut when it comes to that, you know?
Yep. Sorry, can you still see me? Okay, good.
Yeah, we were
You're
glitchy.
back. It froze for a hot. Okay. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And as a reader, probably not shocker, I love big books. Like, I love reading big books, 400, 500, 600, 700 pages. Like, it's great. I am one of those people that loves, I'm sure you guys, this isn't a surprise. You can read my books. I love getting into the character's head. I love knowing what they're thinking. I love knowing just all the things. And so I'm sure that comes out into, sorry, I'm getting sweaty. I always get sweaty when I'm on.
I think for all the reason these days, it's okay.
And then I have my window shut, so like, because my neighbors are like chronically loud, so I have it shut so you guys don't have to hear them. But anyways, yeah, I totally agree with you, and thank you for, sorry to like go back 10 minutes now, but thank you for saying that. It really it means a lot to me, because I did get a lot of feedback about the books are too long and this could have been cut in half, or, you know, all the things. And so like, I hear that and I take it to heart. I mean, these books are like parts of my soul I'm like giving to you guys. And so I hear that. And so then it makes me question, like, oh no, you know, maybe I should have cut, but no, like, it's supposed to be, I feel like when an author has a muse and something's speaking to them, you have to write what's in your head. You have to put down on paper what they are telling you. You are no longer in control of that. And sometimes it takes a meandering trip down a lane. Nobody else is interested but you've got to get it out there. You've got to say it. And as long as you're following your heart as an author, the readers, the fans, they're going to come. You're going to connect with people. You are connecting with people. You know, that's why you're here. You know, you're doing it. So just do what you love. It's going to show. Like I said before, you can tell when an author phones it in, and you can tell when they don't. You know, and honey, you're not phoning it in. You're doing it. So I can tell you, I certainly am not. These voices are in my head, and they won't leave me alone.
Where's that? All the voices.
They're all, yeah. Apparently, I've outed that I hear the voices. I hear it. I just see it's like a movie, a silent movie that plays in my head. Sometimes I like hear what they say, and sometimes they're very specific on like. I said this in my last video, but sometimes they're very specific on what words to use. It's interesting. I'll like argue with them and I'm like, no, I really want to use this word. And they're like, no, like I'm speaking right now. And this is like what I'm saying. I'm like, oh God, here we go. You know,
you have to be true to your characters too. I mean, you're sitting there and you're like, is this something this character would truly say? Or is this something I would say, you know? And it's like, you got to stay true to your character, you know? Because when readers see you changing up a character, they're like, wait a second, he would never, you know. So,
yeah, it's so funny. And then Nico, you know, he's so quiet. Like, it's like pulling teeth trying to be like, I'm like, Nico, the floor is yours, man. Like, you got it. This is what are you saying here now? You know, and it's
waiting for his time. He'll tell you when he's ready, you know.
Oh, I know. And everyone, well, not everyone, but tons of people are wanting Nico's story. And let me just tell you, like, there are, yeah, like, he is so, it's like pulling teeth. And it's very interesting. And it's, even me as the author, um, and I was saying this even about Star's story too, is that there are certain characters like Nico and Star who are very protective of who they are and underneath the layers. And so it's interesting that even me, I'm not privileged in any way, that I see behind the mask unless they show me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all you can do is just wait for them to, and it'll be brilliant when it happens. It's just, you got to wait for it to come. I'm excited about it too, Nico. He's just, there's just something. You did good with him. There's just something about him that
I can't take the credit. Like I'm saying, I can't take the credit at all. Like with any of these characters, any of the stories, it's like I really just feel like I'm just like this lucky translator. Like I don't know why I was blessed with being able to translate their stories. Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm waiting. And I will say, okay, spoiler, not spoiler. Book 3, we do get a glimpse into behind the layers of both Star. Obviously it's Star's book, so we do, but also we get to see a little Nico, and I love Star and Deacon's story, but when I first saw, it's like, I even remember, it's like, I won't tell you the chapter, but every time I see the chapter number, I'm like, I get so excited when it's hard to say without.
Well, I'm excited to read it.
I know, yay! It's gonna come out. I'm not sure exactly when, but probably around October. It's still in editing, and it's been a journey of editing. But
now there's a question. Are you happy with your first edits of your very first book? And after having feedback from reviewers and other people, is there anything that you would go back and change with Calypso's Heart, or are you content with where it is now and this is it?
Yes. Okay. So, this is like going to be like a 3-part answer. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Warning to everyone, if you don't know, because I write long books, P.S. I also have like really long answers to things too.
Go ahead.
So yeah, to answer your question, hell yeah. I want to go back and change. I'm not going to cuss on here. Can we cuss? I don't know. I'm going to change a crap ton of things. So I would love to go back. A part of me would love to go back. The recovering perfectionist side of me would love to go back and tweak and change. And I've considered this probably way too long. Ultimately, I'm not going to, at this point in time, I'm not going to go back and change things. And a part of it is, one, I could be spending that time, energy, and effort that I've learned from publishing Calypso's Heart and Riker's Key into writing the next book. And just continuing to, better my skills and put forth that energy that way. I'm not saying one day I might not go back and tweak and edit and do things like that, but also the way Calypso's Heart is right now, it's a reflection of like who I was at the time, a reflection of the baby author who didn't know like anything about anything, who literally just a woman who woke up one random January morning and in 2019 and just started to see things and just was like, I'm going to write it down. And so what you see in Calypso's Heart is, and with all my books too, but what you see is exactly what I saw, is exactly how I wrote. And so here I'll kind of like dive into part 2 of my answer. So like, how do I want to say this? Like the phrase that's coming to mind is like, yes and yes. And what I mean by that is, when I was studying to be a yoga teacher, we learned that phrase, yes and yes. And in that context, it's like, when someone's doing a yoga pose, and then the person next to them is doing a yoga pose. Is this person doing the yoga pose right? Yes. And is this person doing it right? Yes, even though it can and will look different because different human bodies, right? So what I'm getting at is with feedback, with reviews, with everything that I've like learned, has that influenced me and inspired me and impacted me as like a writer and a human being and an author? And the answer is yes, of course. Yes, it has. And also, do I still try and do my best to like honor the story and honor where I was at when I was writing those stories and not change anything like the story wise that I see? So yes. And then like part 3 of this answer is so feedback, because, and I don't know if you know this about me, I've said it in a few other videos, but I'm not a trained writer. So I didn't go to school to be a writer. I don't know if I lost you. Did I lose you?
My little wheelie spinning. Here it comes.
Okay.
Are you back? You're back.
Okay. Oh, yay. Part 3 of the answer is I didn't go to school to be a writer. I don't know. I've never taken a creative writing class in my life. Like, I don't have a degree in English. Like, I don't have any of that. Like, literally the only essays I wrote was like in school, right? Boring essays about things I don't even want to write about. So the point of that is feedback is, and reviews and all of that is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly valuable to me because it can help me in so many ways. And it's also a slippery slope because very easy for me to go down into this like negative thought spiral of, wow, I freaking suck, and self-doubt and criticism, and I suck as a storyteller, I suck as an author, these characters sucks, the story sucks, everything sucks, you know, like it's very easy to like go that way.
It is.
You have to be really careful, and I've learned a lot from reading reviews. It's like this, I say it as like I take what serves me and leave the rest, you know. So with the feedback,
good.
Yeah, I try and take what serves me and leave the rest. And so as like a new author and someone who's continuously growing, and even in like 5, 10, 15 years from now, I hope I'm still learning and growing and writing. And so when I guess like for me, writing is like, sorry, this is becoming a long-winded answer.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay. So like for me, writing and feedback, it's like, okay, it's like when you go to a restaurant and you try a dish and you're like, okay, wow, that was amazing. Like I'm going to make it at home. Right.
Right.
And so, well, if you're like me and you can't cook to save your life, make it. And you're like, well, it's kind of like the shape. I got the shape of whatever it was, but you know, ooh. But like I don't stop there. Like I keep trying again and again and again. And so it's like that with the feedback, and for me writing, it's like I digest it and then I'm like, add a little bit of here, like a pinch of salt. Okay, wait, way too much onion, you know, like what was I thinking there? Or like
right.
Why did I put a pound of garlic? Like,
but I think that's part of the learning curve, especially when you're an indie author, because you don't have that editor that's going to read your book and be brutally honest and go, this needs to be cut, this needs to be, and you know, and some are very, very good, that will really work with you and say, I see where you were going, and maybe in another, you don't have that. You've got you, and I'm sure you've got a support team with you that helps, but ultimately being an indie author, it's you know, and that's the joy of it. It is you can make your own decisions. You're not going to, but reading the reviews, that's it. What's the things that you see? Like so many people are like, Nico, you know, and so you know what lane you need to be traveling down, you know, but yeah, throw out the rest. If it doesn't serve you, toss it out. It's not worth it, you know?
Exactly. Absolutely. And the whole I love that aspect of self-publishing where it's like these books are art. They're my art. You know, it's a delicate balance of how much of this to put in, how much do I scale back, how much more do I, you know, it's this artful, delicate balance. And a part of that is learning and growing. And each time I get the feedback, and each time I write a new book. So like from like a skills writing technical perspective, do I believe book 2 is better than book 1? Yeah. And do I think the same of book 3? Yeah. And 4? Yeah. And
but it's a natural progression, isn't it? I mean, the more you do, the better you get, the more feedback, the more you grow. I mean, that's what happens in so many series. You know, how many times have you heard, stick with it, it gets book 3? Oh my God. How many times do you hear people saying that about a series? You know, they're like, it gets so good because you're watching that author mature and grow with every book. You know, you can see it in your book too. From book 1, you can see it. You know, it's just, you know, it's a joy to watch and be along for the ride.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for reading and for your reviews. And I actually remember your review. I'm gonna cry again because I totally cried, and then I think I emailed you and I was like, thank you. But I remember it, and what you said, it really hit me. And that's the thing about these reviews is like, I know not every author reads them, and that's their, you know, that's how they function, and who knows how I'm going to operate in years from now. But right now it's incredibly valuable. And I love connecting with you guys. I love connecting with you and just all the readers, and it just means so much. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your baby. You know, that takes courage. It does. And having said that, there was an author years ago, Janine Frost, who said, and she has a great series if you haven't read it, but Bones Forever. I know. But she said, you know, reviews are for readers, and don't engage, never engage. You know, if somebody says something nice, great, thank you. Somebody says something negative, great, thank you. She was like, you can't let that be your defining moment ever, you know. And that's part of the reason why with my reviews, and it changed some years ago, is that I made the decision I was not going to do any more negative reviews. And if I don't like a book and it doesn't hit with me, I will close it and I will quietly slide it to the side. I won't even rate it. I'm just not. And if I love it, I'm going to tell you I love it, you know, and I'm going to say it's great, because there's enough negativity in the world. There's enough negativity on Goodreads, on any review platform. You don't need me adding to it. You know, I don't want to add to it. I'm here to promote authors. I'm here to promote the work, the love of reading, and find your negativity somewhere else, because you ain't gonna get it here. You know, it's just, no. Why? It's your joy, and I'm so glad to be in your orbit. So that's so nice, you know.
Thank you. Yeah. Some authors, they do have that perspective of don't even read it, don't go there at all. And I know a lot of them, they would probably be like, what is she doing? Like reading them. But it's like, you know, even okay, maybe I won't do this forever, but right now, you know, including the negative reviews. And that's because, like I said, with that filter, I've grown like a tougher skin too since publishing Calypso's Heart. But with that filter of taking like what serves me, I do, and I try and put it through that filter of like, okay, DNF at 10%, you know, or whatever it was.
You didn't even give it a 10%. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, not that much. But anyway, the point is, like, I'll take the feedback, I'll digest it, and I'll see like if it lands. And sometimes it takes like a couple weeks or months, or maybe it doesn't land at all, you know. But I think
then you feel is constructive, you know. When I do love it when there's reviewers that will write out and say, this just felt weird to me and I didn't understand why, and then you as a writer can look at it and go, oh yeah, that felt disjointed to me when I wrote it, you know, that kind of thing, versus somebody just being negative for the sake of being negative.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing that you said. I totally agree with you. There's like this, it's almost like a competition of like, how bad, like if they don't like a book, it's like how bad can how bad can this review like competition go? And it's like, yeah, you know, not feeding that into my
That's not for you, and that's okay. I hope you find your book, you know, just
exactly. And that's the thing, is you look on any book, they have a range of, I freaking love this, and this is like my top, you know, 3 book. And then there's also this is the most worst book, and the entire books of all books. Like,
but you haven't read enough then, honey, because goodness.
right. I'm like, okay. No. So it's like this range on this one book, and it reminds me, and you know, not every book, it's art. Not everyone likes everyone's art, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Well, I like your art, so there.
Yeah.
Oh. So how many books are you planning for this series in total? Or are you thinking of branching out and doing something completely different anytime soon?
Okay. So, great question. You have all the good questions. So originally, when I very first sat down in 2019, January, when I first sat down and I started writing these stories, the stories, but essentially it was just bios of the characters that I was seeing at the time. That very first document had 7 books written down. And then I want to say last year sometime, or within the past year, I was like, it'll be 5, because it'll be 1 per each male of Orion's order, which I think is 5. So I can't remember, but I think it's 5. I can count on the head. So I was like, okay, it's going to be 5, and which is good for me because, you know, 700 pages times 5 is already a lot. So I was
that's
like,
a good, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes me a long time to write each book. And it keeps going. So, like, side note, I wrote Calypso's Heart in 5 months.
Yeah.
Riker's Key was 6 months. Deacon's Star was 7.
Wow.
I almost said the title for book 4. Oh my God, I almost spoiled that. Wow, that would have been bad. But book 4, I'm almost done. I'm hoping to be done with the first draft, the end of this month. That's my goal. We'll see.
What's your publishing schedule? Are you going to do 1 a year? Is that your plan?
That's the plan. And then I would like to, anything on top of that is a bonus. So I would like to maybe do like a short story, or like something like during the holiday
novella. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Or even if it's just like a couple bonus scenes, I don't know, just a little
That's
something.
great. I love it. Yeah.
A little something, a little extra. So for
holiday. Yes.
Yeah. And so there are a couple bonus scenes that are going to be in the Insider's Guide. One of them is the scene from Blake and Cal. Okay, so in Calypso's Heart, from when she's sipping that Once You Go Alpha mug, and she talks about buying lingerie. We don't have that scene in the book, but the scene is and there's also a scene from, let me see. There's a couple scenes that will be in the Inside Guide.
You just said mug. I'm like, is that in your merch store?
I don't have it, but it is. I have like this shirt. I don't know if you guys can see it, but anyway, so.
You had merch until this week, and I was like, what? So I got to go some shopping. But that's when you said mug. I was like, wait, do you have that mug?
I actually do, and I sip out of it a lot. And like, funny story, my boyfriend sometimes uses it too.
He knows who's alpha.
Yes, it's so funny. It's just because it's the quote unquote only mug left, and I look in the cupboard and I'm like, that's not the only mug left.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, yeah, sure.
No, I'm a coffee mug fiend, so I have a lot. I don't have that one.
Yeah.
I will be getting it.
Or it's in, you can go in the link in my bio and it should be in there. It's in Zazzle, and I usually wait until, Zazzle's really good because it has like a lot of like discounts that are kind of like constantly going. So when I see discounts on like the shirts or the mugs, I always like grab grab
Get
them.
in. We love a deal, and if it's bookish, we love that even more. You know?
Exactly. So I have a ton of stuff in the merch store. I have like the shirts and again, the other day my boyfriend I have like a water bottle. It's the Rikers Key water bottle. Mm-hmm. And it has like the jaguar with the blue eyes. And he's like, I need water because he was going to work and he needs like a water bottle. And I was like, well, we have the Rikers Key one. He was like, I'm not going to bring that to work. And I was like, it's the only one. You don't have it.
You know, you got to get a Rikers Key yoga mat. Throw that in there too.
They have those. Yes, it's on my to-do list. I actually have like a whole like merch ideas. So if any of you guys ever have any merch ideas of like, hey, I want this quote on a shirt or like from the book or whatever, let me know and I'll add it to the doc. And some days when I'm feeling like graphic designer, I put on that like little baby graphic designer hat. I'll work on the list.
And it's like when I need new business cards, I'm like, oh, let's play. what can we make? Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Oh.
Did you have any other questions? I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I wrote notes because I'm a note person, and that's just how I do. So, I don't know. I think I've covered everything that I kind of outlined that I wanted to ask you, my burning questions. You know, I think I did it. But no, this has been wonderful. I've been so happy chatting with you, and I'm excited for all the new fans you're going to get and have. You know, it's nice. I love it. I love connecting with indie authors, and I call them freshies. My freshies, the fresh authors. You know, it's nice and something new, something fresh. You know what I mean? It's just, it's lovely. It's lovely.
Thank you. So I have a couple questions for you. Okay, so who's your favorite character in the Orion's Order series?
Okay, so here's my thing. For whatever reason, when I start a series, it's the main guy from the first book always sticks with me. I guess it's my introduction. So it's going to be our boy. You know, it's going to be Blake. It's just
Yeah, I know.
It's, you know, him sitting there when they're all out there having drinks at the, you know, they all met up and then some go outside and they're like, what are they playing? Cornhole? What are they? I don't remember. What were they doing? They all met up for drinks. I can't remember.
Wait, in the bar?
Yeah, they're in the bar.
Okay.
And he liked, but he wasn't sure he was good. And it was just, you know. So I love that whole scene. It was really great. And just
also, wait, the bar scene where also Riker and Kina have their first moment, right?
Yeah, you know, it's just so good. And, you know, and she's great too. I loved, what is it? What's the quote that she said that I love so much? I can't find it now. Oh, what is it? I'm the fucking Phoenix.
Oh, I know. Callie.
That on a t-shirt with a bird. Do you have it already? You probably do. And I just missed it.
I don't. I will need to go back and take notes and write that down. You want I'm the Phoenix or you want I'm the fucking Phoenix? Okay. I will write that and put like a little heart in the U.
A little asterisk in there. So, no. I just like it when there's these moments when characters have that realization of self that I can do it. Nobody needs to tell me or build me up. I can friggin' do this on my own. You know, I love that. And that's the moment that she had. You know, she kept, you know, hearing him in her mind, trying to, you know, I don't want to be spoilery, but, you know, and, you know, he's like, I got you. Come on. You know, I got you. All you got to do is, you know, I'm not going to let you be there by yourself. And then she finally comes to and she's, I'm the fucking being, I can do this. And I love that entire empowered moment with her. You know, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. I was playing around with, thank you. And I was playing around with like not the title, like it was going to be either like Heart of Calypso or Calypso's Heart, or it was something like that. But then a part of me also was like, I want it to be something with the Phoenix, like her, that's so strong. This like Phoenix rising up from the ashes. Like learning the inner strength, like that's such a big part of her story. And also, like you said, like at the end, or not just at the end, but like throughout the whole thing, it's like, but especially at the end, she's one of the heroines that I love because no one rescued her, you know, like she fucking saved herself.
I love that. She did it herself. She had someone there to support her on her journey, not carry her on her journey, but support her on her journey. And she did it. And as women, we need that. You know, we need that little push. And that's why also in book 2, you know, you have Kina going where she came from this horrible relationship and she decided, I've had enough, you know. So that's great that you're writing women that have taken their power back, you know, or discovered their power, you know, both.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like that's actually like what you just said is like a huge theme. Like I think I'll finish that thought. So a huge theme for the female characters, at least in Orion's Order. And I actually was pondering this recently as I'm writing the end of book 4, and not just the end, but I mean throughout. I just happened to think, because I already know what's happening in book 5 and the next and the next. And so I was thinking, I wonder if this is like going to be like a theme for me as a writer, as an author. You know how sometimes with some books, like like with Nalini Singh, I know her alpha males, like her characters, and they all have like this like tortured past, and like you
It's
know,
her. Yeah.
and it's great. And so like I know when I pick up a Nalini Singh book, I know like what I'm getting into, and I love it, love it, love it. And it's the same thing with J.R. Ward. Like I love how it's like dark and gritty, and yet at the same time, like her, you know. And so I was thinking, like, I wonder if my female characters are, and Star's the same way. Like in book 3, right? I'm not going to give spoilers for book 4, 5, 6, or 7, but at least for the first 3 books, we already know the females. And it's not like they save themselves, but it's well, they do in a way, but they like find their power and in their truth.
Yeah.
And so huge, like at least I believe these characters aren't like, what's the term? Mary Sue? Is that what they're called?
yeah. The damsel. Yeah, I gotcha.
Like, I don't think these characters are like that. I don't think any of my female characters are like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think that they're on this path, like you said, of like self-discovery and discovering their power and standing in their power and standing in their truth, and having a support system, but also like knowing that they can do it themselves. Like the power's within them, and like that's yeah, I mean that's powerful, and they learn that and they can stand in that, and that's, I mean, it's empowering.
It is though. It is though, and that's what I like to read. And it's because if you start an older series and you can see where that was in time. You know, my daughter, she's in her 20s, and she just started reading last year J.R. Ward's books, and like she was reading book 1, and she was like, "Oh my God, what is it with this guy?" And I was like, "Girl, what year was that?" Things have changed in the romance paranormal world since then, and I love it. You know, I love it. It's amazing to see the growth and the change, and having young authors come in and put that on a page. You know, that's what we want to see. You know.
Yeah, the fresh and the and yeah, it is interesting because I reference, at least in book 1 and 2, and I think it's not so much in book 3, and it's because of the female characters. So Callie, one huge thing about her is music. She's obsessed with mocha lattes and music, and so throughout so throughout the whole story, there's like, and it's not like I just randomly, it's like literally she was telling me like, no, this song needs to be, and like the lyrics, as I was writing the story, lyrics to songs I like literally maybe have heard like one. Like I'm not one of those people that like listen to songs and remember the lyrics. It was bizarre. So like I'm writing this, and like lyrics to these songs just like randomly pop in my head, and I'm like, it's because it's Callie. She's like in my head, like, and so it dates the books. And I've read like a lot of like writing advice about how like you don't want to put like pop culture references.
Yep. That's big.
Blah blah blah. I mean, I shouldn't be saying blah 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 and like dismissive. Like
No, but you're right, because how many times do you see the you know, we've been using J.R. Warden as an example, but in the beginning they're like running to a payphone.
yeah,
And I'm like, well, that didn't date well, did it? You know?
yeah, or like I think I was like rereading a few of the books recently, and just the other day I think I read someone who was flipping open their Razor phone, like
texting on their BlackBerry.
exactly. So like, I mean, I
Yeah.
get like with the times, but like the songs were so inherently woven with Callie, and then Kina. It's the same thing. Music is a huge thing to her. And so it's interesting when we flip to book 3. I mean, granted, you haven't read it yet, right? But when you do read it, there aren't a lot of song references. In fact, I'm trying to even remember if there's one. And so it's interesting. And that's because of Star. And you'll see, like, you'll get a glimpse into how she, like, feels about music and stuff like that. But it's because of who she is. But there are other things in book 3 that you'll see that's not in either book 1 or 2, and I don't foresee it being in any other book because it's very unique to Deacon and Star.
That's exciting. I'm going to piggyback off your last one though. Now, and I don't remember if you have. I don't know. But did you add a playlist to the back of your books when you finished with either one? I don't remember if you did or not.
Yep, there's a spot of not the back of the books. I need to do that. Why do I not have it in the back? But I do have a Spotify playlist. It's and the link is like through in the link in my bio, or you could go to my website. And I have a Spotify playlist, well, for all the characters, but the only ones that are public right now are book 1 and 2. I have 2, and also there's a Kina's playlist in book 2, so she does a dance for Riker. And the epic dance. So those of you she pole dances, but it's through like this I know immediately I say the word pole dance, and I'm sure a ton of you guys who are watching either now or later are thinking, okay, so strip club, what are those, like smoke machine, like gritty heavy music, like twerking, like all the things. But no, like that's not how Kina is. So Kina's a mind and spirit healer, and so just like side she teaches like organic healing. It's like healing through movement because she's a healer, and so she teaches essentially feminine empowerment through movement and through pole dancing and through yoga. And so it's very different. It's not, and in fact you learn she doesn't just dance for anyone, and she doesn't dance in front of people. And so that's why the dance in front of Riker was so powerful. So anyways, so she dances in front of Riker, and I guide you through this whole journey that she showed me. And there's a playlist for that too. I put all those songs on her playlist. There's the Kina dance playlist, and then there's the Riker and Kina playlist, and the Blake and Callie playlist. And all the playlists are either songs that I reference in the books or just songs that I hear and I'm like, oh, that is so
yeah. And that's in your link. Is that linked in your on your Insta page too? Okay.
Yep, it's linked in my bio, and also you can go to my website and under my about inspiration page, because music is very inspiring to me too. In fact, just yesterday I posted in my story a song that reminded me of Star. And actually, I don't know if I should spoil this, but my there's actually my sister. She's a singer and a rapper, and she also does like spoken word, and she wrote a song for Star. Wrote a song, sang it, produced it, did the whole shebang. And
what an honor to have that. Oh, that's so great.
Guys, when I'm releasing book 3 officially. But yesterday I brought it up because yesterday the song I posted was actually something my sister sang, and it reminded me of Star. And it's funny because yes, like she is inspired. Star is inspired a lot by my sister. The way Star is, the characteristics, the looks, a lot of her mannerisms, it just kind of came out that, granted, they're not like one and the same. I can easily see the difference in the two, but at least, and if you've ever seen me post pictures of Star on my Instagram, or if you go to my Pinterest page, all the model is my sister. that's Star.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and we actually don't look too much alike. She has well, you can go and look, but the way Star is described, I mean, it's literally her. I think I described her as like a Pocahontas meets like a Hawaiian goddess, I think, and that's really what my sister looks like. It's crazy. Like, you see my skin, it's like moon white, you know, but my sister's is like, it's this gorgeous shade of tan, and I've always been jealous of it growing up.
Yep, some tan, some of us don't. It just, you know. So.
Right. I like burn, and then I immediately peel, and then it goes back to white, which is fine.
You know, slathering it all on. You know, I jokingly say my daughter is a redhead, and it's like she's the color of paper. Yeah. So dip her in a vat of sunscreen when she was little. So, you know.
Oh, I feel bad. Yeah, exactly. Literally can't go outside in 5 minutes without getting a sunburn.
Well, the older you get, you realize protect all of it, you know.
Yeah, and this is just a total side note, has nothing to do with books, but recently I've been using like retinol on my, I've been like breaking out a lot. I have a filter. You can actually see like a pimple. But,
the beauty mark, make it black.
Right. So anyways, I've been using like retinol to help like clear my face. And so big thing is you got to use sunscreen and keep covered up.
You got to. I turned 50 last month, and it's like instantly face has to be resurfaced. It's like you start realizing, where's that microdermabrasion? What are we doing?
Okay, so like low key, I have a microdermabrasion machine at home because well, I have like acne scars, and so obviously I have makeup on, so you can't really see it. But
oh, you look beautiful.
Use that, and I've been doing like these acid peels. I've been like going all out. It's crazy, but your skin looks so good, honestly.
You're hiding in a highlighter, and we're staying far away from the camera. No.
Right. Yeah, thank God for Instagram filters.
No.
I also had another question for you. And maybe you kind of already shared it, but did you have a favorite scene, or like a scene in, and I'll ask it for both book 1 and 2, but in Calypso's Heart, did you have a favorite scene, or like a scene that just stuck with you and landed a certain way?
Stuck. I'm trying to think. Well, because I do, it's just, I don't know. There's quotes that get me, and that's the thing. I'm a quote person. But with them, let's see, with Blake, because like I said, I loved it when they all met at the bar. And I think it was just when they first are introduced and they're rolling around on the couches together, and you're kind of getting everybody's personalities. I love that fresh. We just walked in, and aside from the couple, just, you know, you did so much world building in that first book, and I love that. It's like, give me a path, give me a blueprint of what I'm going to expect out of all these characters, and give me some hope, because you're like, okay, the twins, all right, what are we doing over here? How are they gonna, you know, I love that mystery to it, and just to watch it unfold. I'm somebody who reads a lot, you know, a whole lot, and I get a lot of stuff. And so when a book comes along that makes me excited for what's to come, and I may not always remember everybody's each individual name, and I'm just like, okay, it's the twins, and who was the guy that walked in while she was healing, and he was like, wait a second, what is she, you know, that's, you know, I love that whole, that's what really drew me in to the book. That's what really drew me into you and this series, and I was very excited for that. But there's one thing that Callie had said, everything is just complete chaos in my mind, and she was talking about how to quiet that down, and I feel that way a lot of times, to where My husband says this. He was like, my mind, I have a whole bunch of empty boxes and I have to learn to close those boxes and put it on a shelf. And so that's the thing. And that quote, I loved it and I wrote it down and I have it in my little book of quotes, you know, so that I can go back and draw on later on in different situations. So that, if that answers the question about Calypso's heart, is the thing. And I've already told you the other one, you know, is I'm the fucking Phoenix. I love that. I love that. So.
Oh, that's what I was going to say about that is, so I was thinking about trying to incorporate the Phoenix theme into the title of the book somehow, but obviously it's not. That's just a part of who she is. And I also was wanting to, like, I felt my own self, this wasn't coming from the characters, but my own self, I was like, Calypso, Callie, like, I feel like her name should be something else. And then actually, and at the end of book 1, we talked about a little bit more about why her, I'll just say it like this, being related to water is actually a huge part of her heritage. So, yeah, if you didn't catch that, if you got, this is the thing about my books is there's so much, I'm going to cuss, there's so much fucking things that go on.
But isn't that great though? Because when you go back for a reread, don't you love reading a second time? Because you see all these, because I know me, I will hurry up because I want to get to the meat to what's happening. It's like, okay, what? And then I go back and reread and I'm like, oh, I missed that the first time, you know? So I like finding nuggets the next go around, you know?
So for anyone and reads or reads it for the first time, you actually learn towards the end of book 1 why her name is water related. So I won't spoil it for everyone, but that's a huge part. And so a part of me didn't get that when I was first writing her character because I didn't see the end, right? So, but it's interesting, and that happens a lot throughout my books. And maybe this ties back to like what we were first talking about, how like there's so much that goes on where it's like I can't possibly remember everything. And
yes,
I'll say it like this, like I've seen scenes ahead of time, like I won't say the character, but actually you meet this character in book 3. We haven't you've met haven't, but you haven't anyways. So but in book 3 you officially meet this character, and there's certain things that have been said in book 3 where you actually won't really see what happens with that until in like at least two books from then. And anyways, that probably makes I'm talking like a seer.
like you want to share but you can't.
Yeah, it's a struggle. And sometimes like where I'm at mentally right now is at the end of, literally I'm like in the middle of like the ending climax scene. I was like crying this morning writing it too. I was like,
this is going to be horrible or amazing. What are you doing to us? Don't kill anybody.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of heart-wrenching moments even in book. But anyway, so like I think what I was trying to say was that there's things that I see several books ahead of time, and my mental space is like sometimes it's so far ahead in the timeline of the series and the books where I still, like, even preparing for like our call today, I still had to be like, okay, people just read book 2. Meanwhile, I'm like literally like, I don't know, 2 years ahead.
Time. But having said that, do you ever, like, if in your brain you're thinking, oh my gosh, I know that I want to do this book after next, do you stop and write that out so you don't forget it, or do you just hope you retain it?
Oh God, no. I would not. I hoped I would retain it with more in here, and it's such a hot mess. Like, I write everything down when I'm in the middle of a scene or writing a scene and something from the future comes in the head, I have to stop and open up that one infamous Google Doc where I have like this whole Orion's order series Google Doc, and it has like the.
And you've backed it up, right?
Yes. Oh, please! I like backed that thing up. Okay, that's like. Sorry, I'm thinking of song lyrics now that we're talking about Callie. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's like a juvenile song. Did I really just quote that? Anyway, so
I think it's amazing.
dear Lord, what is going on live? So yeah, I have to stop. I write everything down, or else it's not like I'll forget it. There's some scenes that will like always just like be ingrained. It's like when you watch a movie and it's like you will never forget that scene, or read a book and you'll never forget. But sometimes there's so many details in these stories where if I don't write it down, it's likely to get like lost. So these like outlines that I have for the future books, they're so robust at this point. It's like for book 4, I had so much already written, like from future scene wise, where I really was like piecing which order it goes in, and like filling in the gaps, and yeah.
That's a lot, though. I know quite a few authors do that. They say inspiration hits and they know that this is going to happen. They just don't know. The muse hasn't told them where in the story it's going to go yet, you know. So there's a lot that do that. And I find it very creative and imaginative. Why wouldn't you put it out there once you've got it, put it on paper? You know, you'll figure it out later where it goes. But yes, get it down, girl. And back up.
I definitely back it up all the time. And also that's a great thing about Google Docs too, is like it backs up as I save, and then I'll be constantly like saving on the side, like I don't know, like every couple weeks or whenever I get that feeling of like, oh, if this was to be lost right now, I would literally die. So like I would cry and then just crawl in a hole and be like, whoa. So then I back it up, you know. And so now I'm talking about it, okay, great. Now I have to go in and back it up too, because I would, at this point. And it's same as I'm writing even book 4, I'm constantly like saving on the side, even though it's like I have the Google Drive, you know.
Yeah. Now, quick change of subject. I saw that you're going to have your virtual signing in, I think you said July?
Yep. It's July 31st, I think, the very last weekend.
Okay. That's exciting.
I know. It's like, it was a little bit crazy how it all kind of worked out. It was last year during, obviously, the year who must never be named. And I was like, I really, you know, I felt called to do like a book signing, and I was kind of like researching, like, you know, I'm near LA, and so I'm like, there's gotta be like something around here, right? I don't know. And then there was one in San Diego, which is pretty close to me too. It's only like an hour, hour and a half-ish away from me. And so anyways, long story short, it ended up the San Diego one was canceled, but there was one literally like within 20 minutes from me. And so I don't even really have to travel. Like I get to
the world found you and gave you a space. There you go. I love it when it happens. Like
manifested right here in my back freaking yard. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm signing up for that. So excited. I'm like, I think, like I said earlier, I just gave all the books like a facelift, and I'm waiting for the proof copies to come in, and then I'm going to order some for the signing.
I do love a hardback book. If you ever do one of those, just let me know. Well, you did, didn't you? You did. Okay. I got to order. I got to go shop.
Yeah. And now the new hardbacks, I don't have one. It's in the other room, but they, now the new hardbacks will have it's the same cover on the front. And just so you know, my hardbacks, they don't have dust jacket covers. And so they're not like that cloth underneath. It's, and maybe I'll have dust jackets in the future. I have like way too many videos on that in my page. You can go back and watch. But, so these books are case laminate. So it's like the glossy hardbacks. And so it's the same cover on the front of the hardback. And then the back is actually new cover art. And I used to have the blurb on the back. And I don't know, I guess I was feeling like really artsy and creative. So this round of facelifts, I just took out all the writing on the back and it's just a picture of the forest with like the gold heart and it's B+C and then the year because, well, that I won't give a spoiler, but that's really meaningful to the story. So, and it's the same thing with book 2. The back is just a piece of art which ties into the story, and same thing with 3, it will end up being the same thing. So
I do like that when you see the book and you see something and then your brain connects the cover to the story, you know, and you're just like, oh, I see what she did there. You know, it's always a nice little Easter egg surprise for the reader, you know. I
same
love that.
with the titles. Like, I mean, Calypso's heart is yeah, okay, fine, like her heart, and she finds Blake, you know, her love, but yes, there's also like another meaning to the heart too. And same thing with Riker's key, you know. The key plays a huge thing into it. So anyway, it's the same. And Deacon Star, obviously Star is the character, but there's other things going on with that too. I mean, he's a steward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their whole thing is about stars, right? The lake and the stars, and so that's a huge piece that you guys will find out in book 3. And I already know all the what the covers will look like and the titles for all the future books too, and so it's interesting to like see how the dynamics are going to play out. Not to say I see everything. I'm still surprised every time I sit down and write. Something surprises me, a little small detail, something will come up, something I haven't seen before, and it's like, so sometimes I'm right here along with the ride with you guys. Like, yeah. I think, wait, hold on. Well, first of all, how long have we been doing this? Okay, a little over an hour.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I have my little notes here too. Let me see if I had any other questions. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I like this question, and I think it'll allow me to learn a little bit more about you too. So, do you have a character that you wish you could be more like, or like a quality that they have that you wish you could embody?
Oh, gosh. See, part of me goes, and I'll say this, is I started dancing at age 2 and stopped at age 34. So obviously, somebody that has a bit of a dance background before she joined Book World. I have a connection to our Rokina, you know, it's just that. And I don't know, I guess to be braver in things has always been a thing for me. It's like I want to do things, and I'm great in the imagination world. I love since I was a kid, I loved getting lost in the book. You know, remember summer vacation, you had the reading book club at the library, and you'd have to read all the things and all that was me. You know, one summer I read the entire shelf of Nancy Drew books. That was, you know, my thing. And it's like, I get so lost in the introverted self that sometimes I forget to go out, you know, and realize that I can push myself. So as far as a connection to your world, you know, it'd be Kina. That's, you know, girl, give me a paw. So, you know, let's dance. But yeah.
So I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be more of the Phoenix energy, which Kina embodies too, especially in her dancing scenes. I mean, whoa, she's so vulnerable in those scenes. Okay, so I've danced like my whole life too. Both my parents were actually professional dancers.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even to this day, like they are often dancing in the kitchen, dancing in the driveway. Like they just, it's the cutest thing in the entire world.
There's always a party in the kitchen, girl. Always.
What?
There's always a dance party in the kitchen. Always. You know?
Right. So like we are a dancing family. Like we grew up dancing. And so my sister is actually a dance teacher. She teaches, not the sister. I have three sisters, not the sister I was telling you about earlier for Star. So my whole family, we've all danced.
What
And
type of,
what?
what type of dance?
I mean, okay, so classically we were trained in growing up in ballet and jazz and a little bit of tap, and then we kind of started to branch off. So like for me, when I was in my early 20s, I can't remember when exactly, I branched off and I started doing a lot of what you guys see in Kina's story is more of this like feminine movement, this healing through movement, and pole dancing. That's also like my jam. And it's not just pole dancing to do tricks. It's because I can tell you right now, I can't do a lot of tricks. It's exactly how I describe it in Kina's story. It's how she, and I also do, I'm a yoga teacher too on top of that. And so I do like a lot of yoga, but it's this idea of like healing through movement. And so through organic body movement and like telling your story through your body, and that in itself being witnessed is huge healing. And so yeah, there's that. But
I had just texted my daughter last night. I just heard a song and it's by Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother, and I can't think of the name of it. But it's one where he's texting the girlfriend and they're going back and forth. I can't think of the name of the song. I just heard it last night and I texted it to my daughter and I was like, I have the choreo in my mind. I just need to dance space to get it out. You know, it's just like, and see, that's the thing about books too. I'll hear a song and I'll instantly think of a couple or a dynamic or something in a book. And then I want that playing while I'm writing a review, you know, same with your playlist. It's like it inspires so much, you know?
yeah, it's
My husband, you broke me twice. That's the name of the song. Good job, bud.
oh, that's the song. Okay, I'll have to look it up afterwards. Yay. Okay, your husband's still here after an hour. Like,
He's a good boy.
wow.
Yeah.
Goal. Hashtag goals right there.
Oh, it's been a lot of years.
Oh, how long have you guys been together?
We've together 28, you know, so yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, my husband he retired from the Air Force, so we traveled the world together, and he retired, and we finally plunked ourselves down in the East Coast. So we're here for a minute.
oh, so break my down. Oh,
That's the name of the song, "Break My Heart."
okay, we'll look it up. Thank you.
Thanks.
I love that. Oh my God, 3 decades. That's like
We trying our best, girl. We trying.
right. No, you're doing the dang thing. Both of you guys. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
So have you ever, I mean, your husband's here, so it's a little, but have you ever tried pole dancing?
I did. Me and my girlfriends, all the military wives, we stick together and do all kinds of crazy things. But there's a workout class, and I can't remember the name of the studio. It's a chain that's no longer here. And we would go, that would be once a week, we would do the class as a workout. And I can't think of the name of the studio now, but you may know it. I'm sure it's not that hard to Google, but you know, yes, girl, yes. Look, Expose, that's it.
Expose, okay. Oh, hey. So we have a bunch of pole dancing ladies in here. Hey, I love it. I don't think I've ever heard of Expose.
I don't know if they're still in business. I know the one here stopped, but it was the best. And at the end of the class, they would shut the lights out, and it was dance for yourself. And they would put the music on. The lights would be out. It was wonderful, and it's just a group. And we had men in there too. They were great. Everybody. It was a center. You know, it was good.
Yep, exactly. They like in book 2, it's called Inner Serenity. That's the healing center where she teaches, and she also does, Kina teaches and does her like therapy sessions, and then she does her dance classes, and yeah, so
yeah, put it out there and dance, and girl, put it out there on the page. That's
yeah, it's so parts of book, well, all of my books, there's some of them, I mean, you guys are getting like diary entries essentially sometimes, but so that scene with Kina and she's dancing with the pole, yeah, I could feel her journey, and I think I might have even cried writing it. Maybe that scene, I can't remember. I cry a lot when I write. So
and that's the thing too, in that scene, it's like, for somebody listening and not knowing, it's not like this big erotic thing. It's more of an emotional thing, and it's so well done. It really is. You know, it's just, there's a connection that's made in that scene that's just, it's really well done, you know. Mm-hmm.
thank
Yeah.
you. So
Mm-hmm.
homework. Tanya's gonna get a pole in her house.
Oh my. Yeah. I don't know about how far I can go up it.
Right? Your husband's like, check, we got this one. Done. That is considered done. His weekend. How funny. Okay. Did anyone have any questions or anything? I haven't even looked. Tanya, did you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I think I covered everything that I had put down in my notes. I'm looking. Other than, any book cons you're going to be doing? Have you planned whether it's virtual or, I know summer opening up? I know there's one in Florida that just opened up that I was invited to, but I'm not going because I'm nervous. But
Yeah. So wait, a book like a convention?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't have any. The only event that I have planned, like a book event that I have planned, is the signing event in July.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, I don't want to call it an event, but I am, I don't know if I spoil or not. So in June, and I'm actually going to be announcing it soon, it'll be around, I'm trying to figure out how I say it without like spoiling.
Then leave a mystery surprise.
I will say that just keep an eye out on my page because I'll be announcing it soon, and there will be something that's happening in June, and I'm really excited to share about it. It's a little bit different than what you guys are probably all used to, but it's like sharing a pieces of how the stories and the characters like woven together, and it's like this week-long event, and so you guys will get to kind of see like a glimpse behind the scenes of me as the writer writing these stories, and like how certain things were inspired by certain events and experiences that I've had in my life. And I actually pull in like some of the influential people that inspired these certain particular aspects. So that's super vague, and I don't even know if that makes any sense at all.
Intriguing.
It'll make a lot more sense once I announce it. I'm just waiting for like one more final piece to kind of like shift into place to see how that works, and then I'll do the announcement. So something in June, the mystery event-ish thing happening in June.
Coming soon.
July. And it's a lot of work to do these events. Like, I've never done anything like this before. So to have even the one-day book signing, it's like I got a banner, I got a table thingy, I got a like all the little I got to order the books and
all your swag. Yeah.
So there's just like a lot going on. So this will kind of be like a learning experience for me.
Well, and you're self-published. I mean, so you're doing all this. You don't have a PR team going, what bookmark do you like, or do you want a magnet? That's you. You're your PR team. So that all adds in, you know?
Yeah, and it not takes away, but like it definitely, there's a balance between writing and like the publicity of marketing and the all the things. And so it's a balance of like, and I don't write every day because that's just not how my brain functions. Like these scenes are so, because I'm because I feel like I'm not in the driver's seat with writing these stories. Like they come to me. So I really have to be in that right like headspace.
Mm-hmm.
And so some days it's like, it's just not like flowing. And then some days it's like, bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, whoa, I can't even write fast enough, you know?
Yeah.
So that's good to have those days where it's kind of like an off writing day where I can focus on the non-writing things.
The business side of it. So you can, yeah.
The business side which one day I would love to hire a team of people to do all the things.
Go the route of a traditional publisher, or do you think you'll stay in the indie world? Because a lot of big authors started off indie, signed with a publishing house, and now they're back to indie, and it's not because they weren't picked up, it's because they decided it was just easier and better for them to go the indie route, especially now.
That's interesting. I did not know about the that journey that they went on, the traditional. So like here's like a short story. Not really. But a side note about when I first wrote Calypso's Heart, and it honestly it sat there for like at least 6 months, maybe longer. And until I was figuring out like what was I doing with my life? Like I had all these other plans going on. I wasn't planning on writing books, let alone like romance books, you know, nothing wrong with it. I love it. Believe me, I binge on them every freaking day.
Yeah.
So, right.
Selling in literature is romance novels. It's doing something right, you know.
What is?
As a romance, it's the number one selling thing in literature across the board. It's romance, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so big, and this is just okay. This is like a little tangent of the tangent side note, but like hence why my books are so long. So yeah, this whole like feeling like, oh, romance books are like they're not real books, or they're not like you're not actually like reading, or like I don't know, you know, we've all heard all the things, and it's like you feel guilty, like, oh, it's a guilty pleasure, it's a, you know, like, oh, I better keep it a secret. No, like fuck that.
No, never.
Especially like, well, not especially, but I'd like to hope that my stories in this, like, you learn so much about relationships and life lessons, and just as we were talking about, growing as a person and empowering yourself and standing in your truth, and like even literally bearing witness to these stories of these people, these characters. And it's like you learn about yourself, and hopefully you also learn about how other people react and other people speak, and you can like understand and have like more compassion for yourself and for others. And we're all on our own journey here, and like there's a reason why, like you said, like romance is number one. If it is
it really is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's strictly romance. It really is. And I'll say this, I'll interject, is that when you found your person, whoever that may be, and you know you're in it, and as you know, me and my husband, years and years and years, the only way to experience the newness of falling in love for the first time all over again is via literature. And who doesn't want to relive the joy and the excitement of that? And at the heart of it, that's what it is. You know, it's just being able to relive that in a way that reminds you what it was like the first time. And there's nothing guilty about that. It's a wonderful thing. It's an endorphin rush. It's happiness. It's joy. Why wouldn't you want to experience that? You know? And anybody that doesn't like it hasn't read a good enough book yet. They haven't found their book, you know?
Exactly. And it's also like you were saying, these, and not just my stories, but you know, all stories, and I hope my stories are included in this, but they are an emotional journey. It's like sometimes I think about like, how can I serve people? Like, how can I be of service to people? And through these stories, and I often like answer this question in a way where I'm like, I'm offering an emotional escape, and the escape isn't in the like I'm going to escape. It's like this emotional experience.
Especially this past year. I mean, we've all needed escapism this year. Let me lose myself in a book for as long as possible. You know, just turn off the TV and dive into something that makes me feel good, you know?
That, yep. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head of like, I hope my stories are
They are
experiences. And it also, yes, you get an escape, but you also get like stories about like life lessons and of course love and relationships and just it's an emotional like what I hope I'm serving people, being of service to, is providing that emotional experience and an uplifting, positive emotional experience about like life lessons and love and all the things. And so it's when I hear people like trash talking romance, specifically romance stories, it's like it always is like they just don't get it. They just don't get it.
And they don't have to get it, because you've got enough people around you that do get it and appreciate it and are, along for the ride and excited for what's to come. And I'm one of those people, girl. So, it's just, yeah, I like it. I think Orion's Order is going to be around for a long time. I think you're going to have nothing but, more and more success with them. I think this is just the beginning of your fans in the series. It's just, I love it when it's a new one that comes along. It's fresh. I mean, it's paranormal. It can be people go, okay, that's formulaic, but no, I mean, you're writing in a new, fresh, it's an endearing way too. And that's what's big about it, I think, for me, is that immediately there's a connection with these characters that you're rooting for, that you're excited for what's coming and their playfulness about it. And especially the cats, they're all going to be playful, but, but I love it. And I think you're going to do really, really well. I'm excited for you and for what's to come in this journey that you're on. So,
yay. Thank you for saying that. It means so much, especially as I'm gearing up to wrap up the first draft of book 4. And yeah, it's just lots comes up on the writing journey so that means truly thank you so much.
Speaking the truth.
And I think I don't think I answered this earlier. I think I went off on a tangent, shocker, but it was asked about other stories, and I answered the 7 books, but there will be, after 7 books, I already know what series is coming next, and I kind of spoiled it in the last live I did, but it's, it'll be about the water species, like the water creatures, and that, so like mermaids, but they're not called mermaids, but for lack of a better term, mermaids.
Yeah.
We'll learn about like and water shifters and things like that, and so we'll get to like kind of experience that. And then in the same token, there's also just a couple side stories in the works, even a short story on one of the characters that we meet in book 2 who won't get like a main Orion's Order book, but I think they're going to be getting like a novella, like a side story. So it's like there's so much, and there's other worlds that I've seen in my last newsletter. I don't know if you or anyone saw it, but it was in a totally different world, and I shared about dragons. And I'll share part 2 of that story in the next newsletter. So there's so many stories, but I'm not going to write. I'll say it this way. I set an intention to finish the Orion's Order series first and like kind of focus on that before I start.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for what you're going to come up with. Tell your muse I said, hey.
Oh, they're listening. Believe me. If you guys only see, they're like all right here. Like, yeah, right, dying.
Voices.
He's dying to take center stage and do some sort of joke right now, but I'm not that quick on the fly.
Good.
Okay, well, I know it's super late for you, so thank you so much. I'm cutting into your precious reading time, so so thank you, and thank you everyone who was here. And Tanya, I really had a blast.
Oh yeah, I did too. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this with you.
Thank you. I mean, the time just flew by, which says a lot because I'm also an introvert. So
yeah, same.
When bookish introverts get together,
we can visit our own little bubble. Yay!
Okay, so thank you. this, if you're curious, this will be on live for wait, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I'm sorry. What am I trying to say? This will be recorded. This is why you have an editor. This will be recorded. So it will be posted to my page, and you can totally rewatch it or do whatever you want. I'll also try and post it on YouTube. And Tanya, if you want the video, let me know. I can
absolutely share it on all the spaces.
Yeah, it too. Okay, I think unless you have anything else, Tanya, I feel like that's a wrap.
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye.